Hey everyone, happy Sunday. Welcome to Bariatrics and Tips. My name is Michelle Geeson and I am your hostess with the mostest as always. Thanks for joining us today. We've got a lot to go over, as I'm sure you can see from this beautiful array of food. Lots to go over. Today's theme is breakfast bonanza, so we're gonna go hog wild. I can't wait to show you what I've got. These just came out of the oven. The casserole just came out of the oven. The pancakes are nice and steamy fresh, and I can't wait to see what you all think of all this. Hey Melissa, glad you can be here. Everything look okay? Tell me yes, okay? Usually Melissa and I do a little sound check, and okay, she says it looks amazing, so I'm gonna take that as it's all good. So again, I'm Michelle Geeson. If you're new to this format, welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. You know, I really look forward to this time each week. I say it every time. I know it's part of my shtick now, but it really gives me some good structure, and it gives me a way to meal plan for my family and myself by showing you all these recipes. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, a really good double-edged sword, and I thank you for allowing me to take some of your Sunday and show you all these great treats. You know, one thing we all have in common is that we have all had weight loss surgery or we're gearing up to. I know a lot of you guys are in the process or fresh out of surgery, and I think that's great that your support system includes Bariatrics and Tips, and I'm so grateful and thank you. But you know, just because we're given this tool doesn't mean we have to be deprived of eating well. I know a lot of things that went through my head when I was going through the process was, am I ever going to be able to eat this again? Am I able to do this? Can I do that? And you know, you are going to pick and choose what you need to get out of your own journey. There are a few things that I have broken up with for good, just because it helped me. So hi Denise, good to see you. Hi Sherry. Hi Melissa. Hi everyone. But again, food is a huge part of our lives, whether we've had bariatric surgery or not, and especially for us, we have to learn how to live with the choices that we make, but we also have to learn to live. And I do not like the word deprived. Omit that word from your vocabulary, because there's no reason why you should have to walk the face of this earth not feeling that you can have this or that. The secret is finding workarounds, finding what works best for you while staying true to your own journey. And so this is our second chance. This is our chance, second chance at life, and our turn to live life to the fullest without that extra weight keeping us down or preventing us from doing the things that we love to do or being with the people that we want to be with. For those of you who don't know, I had gastric bypass surgery April of 2015, so I'm 6 years into my rebirth. I've lost 130 pounds and I've kept it off. I'm a huge exerciser. I love to run, as you can see, and in fact, the reason why I'm wearing this, including my shorts and my running socks, is because my goal is to go running after this broadcast. I feel like if I'm dressed for that, I'm more apt to do it. So I've been dressed like this pretty much all day. I'm gonna go for a run. But at any rate, I've worked hard. The journey has been good, bad, and ugly. It has been fun at times. It has been grueling at times, but it is my journey and it's what I made of it. And I decided after I was approved for surgery that I was gonna take the second chance at life and I was gonna be all that I can be, okay? But I have news for you. I'm only human. I make my share of mistakes, but the difference is now I know how to isolate those behaviors and nip them in the bud before they mushroom out of control. And so because of that, I've dedicated myself to learning ways to live large and cook small and find flavor in everything that I do. And I know I'm worth it, and I know that you're worth it too. So that's why I do what I do. So thank you so much for being here. Again, today is breakfast bonanza, but before we get into this wonderful food, we are gonna concentrate on our Sunday spotlight. Today's Sunday spotlight is Venda Mae Harris. Hi Venda Mae, I didn't see everybody that's on. Hopefully if she's here, if you're here, Venda Mae, will you chirp in and let me see you? just say hi or something like that. Hey, Brandy, nice of you to say hi. Oh, happy Sunday. Okay, Denise is still here, but we're looking for Venda May. At any rate, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Venda May. She is 39 years old. She started her journey in September of 2020. She met her surgeon for a consultation. She had type 2 diabetes and high triglycerides. She was on 5 medications for diabetes, including 3 insulin and 1 for her triglycerides. So she had gastric bypass surgery April 24th of this year. So you almost have the same rebirth day as me, which is awesome. That's great. Her highest weight was 315. Her surgery weight was 297, and her current weight is 263. So that's great. Round of applause for Venda May Harris. That's wonderful. You are on such the right track for success. She says that she's off of all of her prescription medication, and she's currently doing great. She is 5 weeks post-op, for those that don't want to do the math. And she's on her last week of pureed foods. Now, I've got some pictures of her. She says that she doesn't see a real difference between post-op and pre-op, but I kind of see it, and I'll show you the picture in just a minute. She does want you to know, before I show you the pictures, she's actually wearing the same exact shirt, and in the top picture it looks pink, and in the bottom picture it looks orange, and she said the difference is between inside and outside. So she said that she had jeans on. The jeans that she's wearing are pre-op. They're way too big on her, which is great. That's a great non-scale victory. And she doesn't really see a difference, but she can feel the difference in the way her clothes fit. So Venda May, that is a huge success. And you should be so proud of yourself. I'm so pleased whenever I read all about the people subject to the Sunday Spotlight. I smile from ear to ear, because it's just so great to see that kind of progress. And so here's her progress. I'm going to walk around, and hopefully I'll be able to turn it just right so you can, wrong one. There we go. All right, there she is. Can you see it? Hopefully. I got to figure out a better way to do this, but you can see the top and the bottom. I think that there's a difference. So regardless of that, you did great, Venda May, and I'm so happy. And Venda May, because she was the topic of today's Sunday Spotlight, gets our new logo magnet, Bariatrics and Tips. And I've got her, I've got her envelope already made out, and I will send that off in tomorrow's mail. So thank you so much. If you want to be the subject for a Sunday Spotlight, if you have not had a turn already, I would love to feature you. All you have to do is send me a personal message or a private message on Facebook and give me a little bio, just like what I read off for Venda May, and your home address, which I won't share, but I do need that to send you your magnet, and some pictures, a before and current picture would be ideal. So any words to live by, any things that help you be successful. I just want to make sure that we are celebrating you. So please, if you want to be part of that Sunday Spotlight, let me know, okay? There, Sunday Spotlight rant over. Let's get into Breakfast Bonanza, okay? I'm sure you know very well by now that breakfast means breaking fast. It's obviously the time between when you eat dinner and when you wake up in the morning, and you want to make sure, oh, yay, there's Venda May. You are very welcome. Thank you. I appreciate it. But breakfast is breaking the fast, and a lot of people stay away from breakfast because they think one less meal, they don't have to worry. But breakfast is so horribly important for not just a bariatric patient, but for everybody. You need that nourishment to jumpstart your metabolism and help set the pace for the new day. And so whether or not you choose to eat a big breakfast, a small breakfast, a liquid breakfast, a solid breakfast, whatever you choose to do, the nutrition is really important, especially when you are a bariatric patient. And obviously protein is a very important part of our day. Now, for me personally, my breakfast is usually liquid. I usually have a protein shake. My breakfast, the routine that I've been doing right now is I go to the gym pretty early in the morning. They open at 5, so I'm there waiting when they open their doors. And when I come home is when I drink my protein shake. And then around 10 o'clock, I make myself an iced coffee and I use Fairlife milk, or I use another protein shake to supplement. And then that gets me through until lunch. My lunch is usually vegetable based with protein, and then my dinner is usually protein based with a little bit of vegetable. So I've got someone here. Dog is like, I think he smells the sausage of the casserole, but this is Lego. Anyway, Lego, I'll be done soon, okay? So anyways, breakfast is super important, and I know my family loves breakfast. Anything from donuts to pancakes to anything. But this breakfast casserole has become a favorite with most of my family. And I have a recipe that I have been, Lego says hi, Melissa. He's actually right down here, and he's on his hind legs thinking that I'm going to give him something, which you know I'm going to, but not right now. So at any rate, I have been making this breakfast casserole for years. I think when I look at the recipe, it says 2011 at the bottom of it. So it's been quite a while. But the good news is that I revamped it to be bariatric friendly. And that's the recipe that I'm going to share with you today. And in fact, I did, the original recipe makes like a 9x13. And I have shrunk it down to an 8x8 or a 9x9, whatever square baker that you have, because first of all, I don't want it to go bad. Secondly, I'm trying to cook small while I'm living large and finding flavor and all that good stuff, yada, yada. And so I'll talk to you about the breakfast casserole first, but first let me walk around and I will show it to you. And the dog is following me because he smells the sausage. So here is my breakfast casserole. This is one serving. And you can see it's pretty ample. And then this just came out of the oven a little bit ago, but it makes 6 pieces, and I've been kind of noshing off of one. That's why you see it. This should be gone. And so it makes 6 nice sized pieces. You can obviously tweak it to your liking based on that, but when I tell you the nutrition facts, it'll be for those 6 servings, okay? So super, super easy to make. It does require a little bit of preparation and a little bit of planning because the directions state that you're to let it sit in the refrigerator 8 hours or overnight. Now, I have done less than 8 hours. I've done an hour before in a huge rush. And so, bless you, Lego. So it really has to do with the bread soaking up the egg mixture. That's why it wants you to set. This I started last night, and so it did set overnight, and it looks great. But again, like I said, I've let it sit for an hour or 2 and it's turned out just fine. So do what works for you, but that's what the directions state. This breakfast sausage casserole, I'm gonna go over the ingredients with you. It has a 1/2 pound of ground turkey sausage. So it comes in a little roll, just like your regular pork sausage, and that's a 1 pound roll, and I just hacked it in half. And I browned it up and everything, and that way you have it and let it sit while you're making everything else. You need a 1/2 teaspoon of mustard powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You need 2 eggs that are beaten. You need a cup of milk, and I use the Fairlife milk just because the protein content is higher, but whatever works for you. I fortified this with 2 scoops of Gene Pro, and I made it into an elixir. I made it into like a little syrup first. And for those of you that don't quite know how to do it or want some, just want to see how it's done, if you go to my YouTube channel, which is Bariatrics and Tips, you can see, I think it's like a 2-minute or less video on how to make that Gene Pro syrup. It's super easy. All you do is put the dry stuff in, and then you add, Maya, there's my daughter, totally video bombing me. Wave, Maya. She couldn't just wait. Anyways, take the Gene Pro and put it in a container, and then run a little bit of water over it, and while you're doing it, you want to shake it, and it'll actually dissolve, and if you let it sit for about a minute, it'll dissolve into like a syrupy consistency, and that's what I use. So when I refer to it as syrup or elixir, that is what I use. So I did fortify this with the Gene Pro. You can't taste it at all. Actually, I forgot that it was in there until I was reading you the instructions. So then you want to take the 3 slices of keto or carb smart bread. I know the brands that I've talked to you about are the keto bread that I get from Aldi's and the Aunt Millie's that I get at Meijer. It's okay. This stuff freezes amazing, Denise. You can freeze it and then you can throw it in the air fryer or the microwave or the oven if you had to. You can keep it in the refrigerator for a few days at a time, but it definitely freezes beautifully. So 3 slices of your Carb Smart bread cut into cubes. And the directions recommend that you toast it and then cut it, or you don't have to. I've done both, and again, it works just the same. And then 4 ounces, which is a half a cup of mild cheddar cheese. You can add more if you want. Again, I've done it the same way. So you're gonna make your Gene Pro into the syrup, like I stated. You're gonna brown your sausage in a skillet and let that set aside. And then you're gonna mix everything together once you have it all done in a medium-sized bowl, everything, including the cheese and the Gene Pro and this and that. And then you're going to put it in your generously cooking sprayed square baker, and you'll cover it and put it in the fridge 1 hour, 4 hours, 8 hours, overnight, whatever you deem appropriate. And then in the morning or whenever you're ready to bake it, you're gonna bake it at 350 degrees for the first 30 minutes covered. And I just used foil to cover it. And then afterward, you're gonna reduce the heat to 325 and take the foil off and then cook it for another 30 minutes until it's set. I did exactly that, and this is exactly what I got. And it is so, so delicious. It really sets up nice. Like, I just cut it into squares, and it is so perfect. And it tastes so good, and I'm gonna give this to the dog. Here, Lego. He says thank you. So, at any rate, the nutrition facts, you're gonna love this. Let's play a game real quick since we have some time. Tell me what you think calorie-wise this is. Type in what you think. Chime in. This is 1/6 of a pan, so it's like, well, it's 1/6. That's all the math that I'm capable of doing today. But how many calories do you guys think this is? Come on, tell me what you think. Here, I'll bring it up closer. How many calories do you think this beautiful piece of turkey sausage egg casserole? 230 is what Denise says. It's a good guess. That's a very good guess. It's wrong. Haha. But it's a good guess. Anyone else? Melissa, come on. Sherry, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think, what you really, really think. 120 from Brandy. That's a 60. Melissa, you're a little low. Brandy, you're still a little low. No, actually, Brandy, you're not low. Vendame, you're a little high. Actually, Brandy, you're a little high too. Hold on, I'm gonna come back to it. All right, this piece of turkey sausage egg casserole is 151 calories. It is 22.6 grams of protein, 8.2 carbs, and 8 grams of fat. I think that's a success story, don't you think? I think it is. This is huge success. Now, I ate almost half of it, and I feel pretty good. I mean, I want to eat more because I see it here, and my mouth is actually watering, and I didn't eat lunch, so I tend to not do that when I'm doing these recipe demonstrations because someone's got to eat the props, and it might as well be me or the dog or both. So at any rate, it's a really great find. It's a really great recipe. I'm proud to tell you that I made it over myself, and I hope you enjoy it. This should be posted on our group Facebook page at 3 o'clock. The pancake recipe that I'm going to show you is going to be posted at 4 o'clock. And then at 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, I've got a couple of bonus recipes that are reposts. Since we're talking about breakfast, I wanted to make sure that you knew about the chaffle recipes as well. So I've got a basic chaffle recipe at 5 and a vanilla cloud dreamy chaffle recipe that you probably could use as pancakes too. But let's move this over and let's talk about our pancake recipe. Hopefully you can see it. I'm gonna come around and show it to you at close range. This is my self-created pancake recipe. This is a chocolate chip one. And when they came right off of the griddle, they were super fluffy. And so I put blackberries in the middle just so you could see how nice it was. And I'll sneak one. But these are great too. And the basis of my pancake recipe is my Fabulous 5 combination that I use for a lot of things. So we're gonna start with a tablespoon each of almond flour, coconut flour, hazelnut flour, and then we're gonna also include milled flaxseed and hemp hearts. That gives you a really well-rounded flavor on your pancake because you've got all these different things that contribute to that flavor. Kind of a nutty flavor. It's super delicious. I will say that I enjoyed it, my family enjoyed it, and I gave the dog a taste, and he, of course, enjoyed it as well. So I added a scoop of casein protein powder, and the reason I did that is because if you recall, sorry, I'm late. Oh, you're okay, Ruth. But if you remember from my previous recipe demonstrations, casein protein powder really simulates flour, and it's like a thickening agent. So I figured it was a really good way to kill two birds with one stone and add some density and add some thickness while still increasing the protein content as well. But of course, I also added a scoop of Gene Pro because Gene Pro in my eyes is like a no-brainer. It's a very low calorie way to add good protein, okay? And that's why I added that. I did a half a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a teaspoon of cinnamon, which is not overpowering, but gives it some good flavor too. And if you really didn't like cinnamon, you could omit it and it would be just fine. But I did add 2 teaspoons of sugar substitute, and my favorite is Splenda sugar, but you can use whatever you want, and you can omit that if you want as well. A half a cup of milk, and again, I use the Fairlife because of the protein. 2 teaspoons of baking powder, which is gonna help that rise and give it that fluffy consistency that I was telling you about. 1 egg, and then I added a half a tablespoon of olive oil. And the reason that I did this is because when I was researching other homemade pancake recipes, most of them called for large quantities of butter. Butter is a moisturizing agent, but it also adds flavor. But as you know, it adds calories and fat too. And while I'm really all about the flavor, I didn't want to add 2 or 3 tablespoons of butter. So I compromised with myself and I did a half a tablespoon of olive oil just to give it some moisturizing properties and a little bit of flavor besides. And so this made 10 pancakes, and I used, it was funny, I was watching Food Network this morning and Trisha Yearwood was making her whatever pancakes, and she says that the key to doing pancakes is to use whatever measuring vehicle you want to use and stick with it. That way you have uniform pancakes. And I was already a step ahead of her, but she used a 1/4 cup, whereas I used 1/8 of a cup. So these made 10 pancakes at 1/8 of a cup each. Super delicious. I tried it with a little bit of melted butter in one bite. I tried it with a little bit of sugar-free maple syrup in the next bite. And then I added some sugar-free chocolate chips, and that was delicious too. You could do different variations. You could add fruit like your blackberries, or you could even mash up the blackberries. You could add sugar-free jam, PB Fit to make a peanut butter one, and you could add some sugar-free chocolate chips and have a peanut butter chocolate pancake that sounds amazing, and I just drooled. You can add some pumpkin puree to it too and up the fiber a little bit and have a pumpkin pancake. I've done that before. That's amazing. You can do a lot of different things. I don't know, did I say cocoa? You can add cocoa to it. You can pretty much do whatever you want to do. And that's the beauty of these recipes, is I'm just giving you the basics and showing you what works for me, but tweak away and do what works for you, because you're the one that has to put that in your mouth. You really just combine all the ingredients, make sure you mix it thoroughly, and then use your cooking spray on your skillet to ensure that everything is super easy. And then you've got your 10 pancakes. Now, per pancake, you're talking, and this is just not with like the chocolate chips in it, it's the basic recipe that you'll see posted at 4 o'clock. You're looking at 52 calories a pancake, which I think is pretty good because you could have 2 with some fruit and it'll be perfect. It'll be just enough for you to feel 80% full. That 80% full feeling for me is like, all of a sudden I'm like I feel just content. That's the best way I can describe it to you. And when you feel that way, you'll know that you achieved that 80% rule. But 52 calories each, 2.8 grams of fat, 1.7 carbs, and 6.5 grams of protein per pancake. So that's nice. You could even have some cottage cheese with it and some cantaloupe. You can make a whole continental breakfast based on that. But the main thing I want to drive home is that a lot of these breakfast recipes that revolve around bread and carbs and grains aren't things that you have to omit. You just have to find smarter ways of doing it. And that refined flour, not good for those that have gluten allergies, of course, because I think this would be considered gluten-free. Correct me if I'm wrong. But there's no white flour in here, and there's really nothing super processed. With the exception of the artificial sweetener, everything's pretty natural, and I love that. I love knowing exactly what I'm putting into my body. It's just another way that I can feel in control. And I always say when the control freak loses control, you know something's wrong. And so my goal is to always stay in control because no one else can make those decisions except me. And that's one of the ways that you cannot have to feel deprived about the things that you want either. Remember, life after bariatric surgery is supposed to be meant for adventure and self-exploration and taking dares that you could never take before. There's a lot of things that I could not do with an extra 130 pounds on me that I'm just gonna seize my chance now, whether it's in physical adventure, culinary adventure, academic adventure, you name it. There's a lot of things I do now because I want to and because I know I can. And cooking and living large is one of them. So hopefully that gives you some good food for thought. I hope that you like these recipes that I was able to share today. I really feel strongly about them. I really think that the more ways that we can expose ourselves to newer things, the better. It just occurred to me that I did not plan ahead and tell you what we can look at on the horizon as far as next week's Facebook Live recipe demonstration. Better late than never. Hey, Misty, we're almost done, but that's okay. No big deal at all. Let me just go to Bariatrics and Tips and tell you what we have to look at on the horizon. Usually I have it written down and I can tell you, and I apologize that I didn't do that. But next week is going to be great. June 13th is our lasagna remake, and I have been making 2 different kinds of lasagna for years and years and years, and I've totally bariatricized them, and I can't wait to show that with you. Sunday, June 20th is going to be dedicated completely to yogurt, and that is going to be a great one. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't tell you about all the yogurt-based things that we could do for breakfast, because I want to save it for that episode. And then finally, to end out the month, June 27th episode will be called It's All Greek to Me. And Greek food is one of my absolute favorites, and I've got some amazing things to show you. And so lots of good stuff on the horizon. So as always, Bariatrics and Tips is on all social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and I already said Instagram and YouTube, my YouTube channel, Bariatrics and Tips. So remember, always keep your surgeon and dietitian in the loop. If you have any questions about any of the products, gadgets, food items, or anything, I'm an open book and I'm always happy to help. But remember, your dietitian and surgeon, they're the big guns and they are the pros. So always feel like you can reach them and keep them in your loop, okay? Any questions from the peanut gallery? Anyone? Well, I want to thank you for being here today. It is an amazingly gorgeous day in West Michigan, pretty much blue sky, and I'm going to go run like I'm being chased. So I've got 4,300 steps right now, and my goal is to have about 12,000 by the time I get back. So that's the deal. Who's going to do some exercise today? Whether you're walking the dog or running or walking or rollerblading or anything, it's a great day to keep moving forward, okay? So thank you so much for being here. Have a great week ahead of you, and I will see you soon, okay? Bye.